So presently, they are fighting in Sudan, and of course, unsurprisingly, because it's not Ukraine in Europe, news networks aren't exactly talking about it. Africa, my Africa, when would you find peace? So much is presently going on in Sudan. Apparently, Russia is building a military base there, and the US of A found out, and all hell broke loose. The problem isn't Africa, the problem is the unending interference from outside parties. And as an African, I am sick and tired. There is a saying in Nigeria that when the elephants fight, it's the grass that suffer, and that's exactly what's happening in Sudan. The two big names, Russia and the USA, are presently going at it, but who's suffering in all of this is the people of Sudan.
Here is why you should care about the fighting that is going on in Sudan. What's happening there is more than meets the eye. And it's time for the world to discuss the actual truth of what is going on there. America and Russia are at it again, just as they did 60 years ago during the Cold War when they fought proxy wars right here in Africa, leading to the death of thousands of innocent Africans. They are at it again in Sudan, fighting a proxy war. Let me explain. Two factions of the Sudanese military are fighting each other. One of them is led by Lieutenant General Mohammed Hamdan, head of the paramilitary group known as Rapid Support Forces. The other faction is led by the Sudanese Army Chief, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. So why are they fighting? This is where Russia and USA come into the picture. You see, in the last couple of months, Russia has finalized a deal with Sudan to establish Russia's naval base in Sudan's Red Sea coast. America is not too happy with that. Actually, they're furious. America's ambassador to Sudan, John Godfrey, expressly warned Sudan not to seal that deal with Russia, but they're going ahead and doing just that. And so when the paramilitary unit began fighting the other faction of the army, that wasn't happening in a vacuum. The big problem is that you're not going to hear this in the mainstream media. Neither are you going to hear a lot of African governments voicing this, which is very unfortunate because Africa must learn to speak its truth and stand on this truth, because truth will set you free. So it is left to the African people, we the African people, to speak this truth and tell America and Russia to get off Africa, to get their hands off Africa. The days of the Cold War, the days of the shenanigans of the Cold War are completely over, and they cannot fight proxy wars in Africa at the expense of innocent African lives. That has to stop. The fighting in Sudan must stop. The puppet masters must stop their evil, diabolic games. Are there Russian mercenaries in Sudan? Yes, they're there. Why are they there? It's definitely not to fight for the empowerment of Sudanese youth. Neither is it the fight for the freedom of speech. Rather, they are there to search for money. Because they're from Russia, they come from a country whose GDP is 50 times the size of Sudan. Despite Russia's vast wealth, Sudan has something that Russia wants, something that Russia needs: gold. You see, Sudan is Africa's third largest producer of gold. And therein lies the reason why the Wagner Group is in Sudan. They are there to guard some of Sudan's gold mines, not because they love Sudan, but because Russian companies are the ones mining some of these gold mines. Africa has to wake up to the reality that all these rich countries of the world have their own geopolitical interests that drive them into our arms. It's not that they love us. So we have to wake up, we have to be clear about our own interests and enforce them. So don't ask me if I am pro-Russia or pro-USA or pro-China, because I'm simply pro-Africa.
This is why when I see Africans talking about how they are for Russia, they side with Russia with whatever Russia is doing, how Russia is here to save us, how Russia is on our side, how Russia is going to liberate us, I'm like, no. Like Sis said in the previous video we talked about, if you guys have not seen it, this one on the screen right now, I'll link it down below in the description. Sis said in that video, we cannot be swapping colonizers. We cannot be moving from one colonizer to the other. These people do not care about us. These people do not love us. They are not here for us. They are here for their own selfish interest. Russia is no different from the US. Russia is no different from the UK. These are selfish mofos. They only care about themselves and themselves alone. They are fighting to protect their interests. They don't care about you Africans. They don't care about the continent. All they want is what is underneath our feet. They need the resources under our feet. They love the resources under our feet. They care about the resources under our feet. They do not care about us. So they are willing to, at any point whatsoever, obliterate us even if that's what they need to do to access the resources under our feet. The sooner we all get this as a people, the better for us all. You see some of our people raising Russian flag. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, Eya Wereni, my people drain me sometimes, I swear. It's like they learn nothing from history.
In 2021, 32.7 tons of Sudanese gold was unaccounted for. This was revealed by a whistleblower in Sudan's central bank. At the rate of $60 million per ton, this gold was worth a whopping $1.9 billion. Such downright theft of Africa's natural resources is nothing new. Gold is also smuggled out of Cameroon, but over there, Russia isn't the culprit. Numerous mining companies mine gold in Cameroon that is never accounted for. Consequently, the Cameroonian people lose billions, even as shadowy characters in the government gain millions. Also smiling all the way to the bank are foreign mining companies and their respective governments. Most gold mines in Cameroon are licensed to Chinese mining companies. We, the people of Africa, must now operate on a new powerful policy. Trust no one, neither in corrupt African governments nor in the even more corrupt foreign governments. Trust no one. Don't trust Washington, Beijing, Moscow, London, or Paris, but trust Nairobi, Johannesburg, Lagos, Accra, Abidjan. Let us only trust in ourselves. We, the people of Africa, let us trust in our mind, our heart, our voice, our spirituality. Let us trust in each other. Let us trust in our land. Let us trust in our God.